I basically ran away from home because I wasn't feeling safe. You know, my stepfather had coerced me into being in a sexual relationship with him. And I didn't know how to deal with that because it was so difficult to talk about, like coercion, and then also people bringing your age into question, like, but you were 21, you should have known better. And it's like, no, people think so. Like, I felt like I couldn't even defend myself because it was a Muslim home, first of all, and I dressed the way that I wanted to dress because I was home. So if I wanted to wear tight jeans, I was wearing tight jeans. If I wanted to wear shorts in the house, I was wearing shorts in the house. So I knew that was also going to be used against me, that, it's because she wasn't dressed appropriately. That's why the stepdad was, looking at her, because after
So for that having a strained relationship with your mom is not normal. And that it's a generational
curse,
it's a generational thing, and that also it comes from, like, the mother wound is also created from the stereotypes and also the pressure that women face
from society.
Like, hands on the sides of your feet. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to take our left leg and we're going to go into a deep lunge. Okay. Left leg back, and then we're going to take
I would say depression is just feeling alone, feeling like extremely lonely, and feeling like you're in a dark place that nobody can, like, kind of pull you out of. You have no sense of motivation. You don't want to, you don't feel like getting up in the morning and living your life. You know, you don't feel like looking pretty. I like to, like, dress up and be dolled up and stuff like that. Hello, it is.
Welcome to an all-new episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Oluchi B.
Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Looks and Wisdom Sundays with me, Oluchi B.
Please say the B.
AKA the elusive punted honey. How you guys feeling?
We're good. How are you?
I'm good myself. How you feeling, Kian?
I'm great, thank you.
Great. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are still continuing that conversation. Last week I spoke to Vure, who spoke about her experience raising a child with mental health issues and subsequently also suffering from mental health issues, and how she mitigated that using Western medicine, including therapy and medication. And this week we are going to be talking about mental health, how trauma informs mental health issues, and how to use the holistic approach as a healing method. Today I am joined by Keabetwe, who is a transformational and holistic healing coach. She's going to introduce herself right now. So on today's episode, we are going to be talking about how trauma informs mental health and how to mitigate it using the holistic approach. Keabetwe, honey, how are you?
I'm feeling great, thank you.
I'm good. You look so beautiful, honey.
I look so cute.
Exactly. Shout out to T. Honey, I'm so glad to have you on the show for Mental Health Awareness Month. Do you mind introducing yourself to the masses and tell us what you do?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Keabetwe Mohlabani. I am a holistic healer and a transformational coach. I mainly deal with trauma-informed patients, and I teach holistic practices that include movement, nutrition, and also sometimes spiritual practices.
Oh, that is so beautiful. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we have you here today. We have a lot to unpack. And do you want to introduce your products early, or do you want to do it as we do the sessions? It's up to you. It's up to you.
I mean, okay, absolutely. So I do coloring in books, adult coloring in books that I've designed.
Okay. Did
This
you
was
do
the
the cover
very
yourself?
first. I did.
Oh wow, girl!
Everything designed myself, right?
Wow.
So this is the first edition. That
Yes.
was the motivational anxiety relief coloring in book for adults.
Oh, wow.
Has little quotes and mandalas that you can follow. And then the second edition is the
Oh
gratitude.
wow, this is so cute.
Thank you.
Be happy. It says be happy here.
And then this is the second edition of my coloring in books. That's like 50 pages.
Okay.
This one is 104, I think, pages.
Okay.
And it's a gratitude practice one. So I highly recommend introducing gratitude into your practice, starting your day off with being thankful. It really puts you in a good state of mind. So I just basically merged this one with my gratitude practice, and it has just little things to remind you of what to be grateful for, you
That's
know, and
good.
little affirmations. So
Okay, I am healed.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like even these little pages that we got into are like speaking to us, because when I went to that Vipassana,
Yeah.
it was about being happy and moving through life's trauma and miseries by centering yourself inside of yourself. And then this one says, I'm healed. Obviously, once you do that, you do become healed. And then tell us about your supplements.
These supplements, oh my gosh,
Am I
no.
putting it on the
This
other
is,
side?
thank you. This has been such a joy creating. So these are the KBM multivitamins.
Yes.
They are herbal multivitamins that have 6 different herbs, Ayurvedic herbs, and also our traditional herbs that we know about. So it's moringa, shatavari, it's green tablets inside.
Yeah.
Moringa, shatavari, ashwagandha, spirulina, all the good stuff, and it really helps with mental clarity. So if you're somebody who suffers from a lot of anxiety, or maybe you have things like ADHD,
Yes.
or ADD, and you have trouble like really focusing, these supplements help with that. It helps with womb health, overall health. I think my inspiration for these supplements was basically for womb health and overall health. I like to just like kill 2 birds with like 1 stone,
We love
basically. You know, something that's gonna give me all the essential nutrients that I need for my body, for optimal function, and also just like clarity, because I suffer a lot from anxiety.
I love it, girl. And you also are a yoga instructor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna get into the yoga later on, but thank you so much for that introduction. And then going back into today's episode, so I have broken down today's episode into 3 segments. So the first one is gonna be trauma and mental health, and then the second one is gonna be nutrition and mental health, and movement and mental health. Let me check my notes. So it's movement and mental health first, and then it's nutrition after that. Sorry guys, my first time back at the job after being gone for so long. So we believe that, I believe that trauma actually informs how we are affected and then subsequently suffer from mental health issues. And I'm under the same impression that you believe the same thing. Do you also believe that our trauma and our suffering informs the mental health issues we're gonna have to suffer from later on?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Because on a subconscious level, so the thing about the subconscious is that you can't control your subconscious.
Exactly.
And when something traumatic has happened to you, it lives in your cells, it lives in your body, it lives in your memory, right? So subconsciously, you either, if you do not find ways to heal from that experience, or to transmute that kind of experience into, you know, you becoming a better person, then what's going to happen if you don't learn from that experience? What's going to happen is that you're probably going to recreate like scenarios that make you relive that trauma all over again. So trauma is very deep, and because also, for instance, with me, I deal with like the mother wound. And with the mother wound, because our parents subconsciously, they teach us, we learn behaviors from our parents. That's how we learn how to, you know, deal with difficult situations. That's how we learn how to behave in relationships and what kind of relationships we attract and things like that. That's who we become on a subconscious level, and those are the kinds of things that we attract also. So yes, absolutely, I do believe trauma informs us.
Exactly. And I definitely tell people all the time that my anxiety comes from the trauma that I experienced in a turbulent household when I was young, because I don't know, like other people believe in past lifetimes, but in this lifetime how it got conjured up and became an issue for me was through my lived experience with my parents and their turbulent relationships. So I definitely believe that 100% from an experiential level for myself.
It became a coping mechanism. Your anxiety basically became a way for you to escape that turbulence, you know? So then it becomes like a learned response.
That's very true. And when we were speaking to Vure last week, she actually explained depression and anxiety in very, very simple terms. She's like, depression is worrying about the future, and then anxiety is worried about the past. So what's your take on that?
My take is anxiety is not being your authentic self. You're afraid of being, you're afraid of being your authentic self because you feel like you won't be accepted. And
that's
so
true. That adds another layer.
And so yes, you do worry about the past and you worry about the future as well. When you are anxious, you're worried about the bills that need to be paid, and you're not being present.
That's true. That's true.
So that's my take on anxiety. In terms of depression, I've experienced a lot of depression as well.
All of us, honey, all of us.
Especially after the pandemic, or during the pandemic.
I experienced my depression during the pandemic, like literally. And fortunately for me, I don't know, like God knew it was gonna happen. I started using the 4 elements already, and then started meditating heavily. So as the depression was happening, I was also happening. So I feel like if I didn't have those practices during the time, it probably would have swallowed me. So you can talk to us about your depression during COVID.
Oh my word. I think my depression was after losing my job, obviously, right? You're somebody who, I'm a firstborn daughter, and for me, I've been taught at home you must earn your living, you need to work hard, So going from being able to provide for yourself and then like, you're now at home, you need to ask for money for toiletries, you need to ask for money for this and that, like that sent me into a very depressive state, especially after already, we'll get into this I think a little bit later, but especially after, when I first started working, what also informed me first getting into working and all of that was I basically ran away from home because
okay. Guys, lots of keeps from crying. I do suffer from depression and anxiety.
Yes. We shouldn't be in a therapy room together. I basically ran away from home because I wasn't feeling safe. My stepfather had coerced me into being in a sexual relationship with him, and I didn't know how to deal with that because it was so difficult to talk about, like coercion, and then also people bringing your age into question, like, but you were 21, you should have known better, and it's like, no, people think at 21 you have everything.
This is exactly what's happening to Cassie right now, because even for her, I think the relationship started around 19, and then by 21 she was consensual into the relationship. I was like, that's really young and dumb at that age.
You make a lot of mistakes.
Exactly.
You make a lot of mistakes.
And then so your depression during COVID, and being out of a job, and then
and also coupled by the fact that I hadn't even spoken about that issue yet.
So it was like a lot of
it was a lot of like I think COVID came at a time where now it was like, hey, now I have to really deal with all of this,
and looking at that experience, how would you summate what depression is for you?
I would say depression is just feeling alone, feeling like extremely lonely, and feeling like you're in a dark place. that nobody can like kind of pull you out of. You have no sense of motivation.
Yes.
You don't want to like, you don't feel like getting up in the morning and living your life, you know. You don't feel like looking pretty. I like to like dress up and be dolled up and stuff like that. Hello.
Yes, yes.
So you know, you don't feel like looking after yourself. Even just basic things like cleaning up your space feels like too much for you, or felt like too much for me.
Yes.
Going out, like not wanting to be seen. I feel like I had so much big clothing at that time, like when I would go and visit family at the baggy, going and visiting family or whatever was, I just would be overly dressed. I just didn't want to be seen. I wanted to be hidden, and
Okay. No, that's great. Thank you so much for that. So getting into mental health, when did you start identifying it in your own life?
I can say I started identifying it maybe in like 2021 as like a word that you can define. Oh, this is actually a mental health issue. Anxiety is a mental health issue, right? But before that, it was just that feeling of fear overcoming you, and you don't know how to manage that level of fear and feeling incompetent with where you are at. So I was, this was around about the 2019, 2020, 2021.
It feels like now, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah. About 5 years.
Yeah, it was about 5 years. But you are allowed to dispute time, because I was speaking to Bonjo and I was like, well, time is such an easy thing. And she was like, girl, time is nothing. And I was like, it's true. Like, we relate to time based on our own experiences.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, it does feel like a long time ago, but it was like yesterday. It was yesterday.
Yeah. Linking your fear as depression or anxiety to mental health, how was that learning experience like for you?
Yeah, I don't know how to say how it was, but I think I just started realizing the patterns that I was now creating to kind of cope, because now that I was out of things that were sort of a distraction, because I felt like that happened at a time where all of that distraction had been removed, you know, like you don't have a job to be focusing on and going up and doing that every day. Now you must face your demons.
Exactly.
So it felt like I needed to deal with that. I needed to deal with my issues. I think I just lost my train of thought.
Not fine. And obviously before that, was it when you then were going to look at ways to mitigate and work through your life going forward?
Going forward and choosing,
and
choosing, just like you, I relate with what you had said, choosing and deciding that, okay, I don't want this for my life going forward. You know, I don't want to identify as this kind of person who people can just come and use and abuse or manipulate, or you know, and you had to go through those experiences first in order for you to know that, okay, this is something that I don't want to recreate or co-create anymore.
That's true.
So
and in terms of the start, did you YouTube stuff, or how did you
I YouTubed books. Actually, there were books that I was reading, so I read The Body Keeps the Score.
Everybody has been telling me about that book. I really need to get it. It's on my notes.
That book is it's a big book to read.
Oh, listen.
Yeah, it's a big book to read, to get through, but it's so informed and so well detailed. It explains, like, even what we're talking about in terms of, you know, trauma informing mental health, because it becomes a coping mechanism. And then he goes into explaining which part of the brain learns that as a coping mechanism, or as a response rather to anything that triggers, you know, your trauma and reawakens your trauma. I did that. And then also a friend of mine who does spiritual healing work and energy healing work, she's the one that kind of explained this to me, because she learned that she had ADHD. So she was...
What is ADHD?
ADHD is when you have trouble like focusing on one thing at a time.
Oh, okay.
Like she'll give this example to me when she starts cleaning one place, like maybe she washes the dishes and then she's like, oh, okay, I actually need to start cleaning the house.
Oh, okay.
Like now you wanted to do a whole spring cleaning everywhere, but you started in one place, you know. Yeah.
And so she introduced you to energy healing.
Energy healing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was that? Is like you guys lying around and then someone's like,
yeah, doing reiki. So she does she would do reiki. She'd put crystals on different parts of my body. So where I was having trouble, she would ask me where I'm having trouble. So when you've experienced trauma, for instance, you'll have a lot of trouble like in the stomach area, because that's where your confidence lies.
Yeah.
And your power lies.
Don't they say like the gut area is like
yes.
another brain center?
Yes. So you'll have a lot of trouble like expressing yourself. You'll have a lot of trouble trusting yourself, trusting your body, trusting your instincts, trusting your opinions, trusting that you even have anything of value to offer other people. So my stomach area was really tight and I would have trouble like going to the toilet, for instance. I was very constipated.
Yeah.
And she would put like certain crystals around there and also in your lower back. Like if you have anger issues,
I know a lot of people.
Not you breaking into a laugh.
Like, because I was thinking, I know a lot of people with anger issues that I would love to send them to the energy healing. Like, we deal with a lot of them in traffic. So,
move! Yeah. Beep, beep, beep. You know, if you have a lot of anger issues, then sometimes you'll have even like back pain.
Yeah.
Things like that. And even your sexual organs, you will also have a lot of trouble with back pain. Okay. So she's the one that kind of introduced me into energy healing and into spirituality, really.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering that next week.
Yeah. Because I'm so mental and like so logical about things, you know.
Okay. What star sign are you?
I'm a Cancer.
A Cancer's earth signs.
Water.
Aren't you guys supposed to be flowy?
I can adapt.
Okay.
I can adapt. But then I'm also just very... Okay, so I'm a Cancer sun and I'm a Virgo moon.
Oh, explains everything. You don't have to go further.
Yeah.
So before we move into the second segment, it was great understanding how you started your journey with understanding mental health and the different modalities that you use: spirituality, reiki, nutrition, tablets, but coloring and all of those things. But for someone who's trying to understand, how did your life even get to that part in 2019 2020, where you had like the breakdown? What do you believe led you to those circumstances?
Being fully alone and like people, like my family, I think being isolated.
Yeah. Do you mind, like, because that was like just in the middle, so before that relationship with your father, what was happening in and around you? Stepfather.
So I was raised by my mom. Obviously, she's a single mom.
Yeah.
She was a single parent, and she met, we came to Pretoria. I was born in Pretoria, and she started her life and everything. She had me at a very young age, 17 turning 18.
Okay.
And I think, obviously, now looking back, I can understand that there was also generational trauma there because, she had a difficult relationship with her mom because, she was in boarding school and all of that. But basically, my mom and I had a very strained relationship. We couldn't relate to one another because I guess she didn't finish her teenage years, and she had to quickly grow up and raise this daughter.
Yeah.
And I think around about when I was about maybe 4 years old, that's when she met my stepfather. So this is a man who obviously in my eyes...
This time she's around 21 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, she's still a baby herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, this man, obviously now, this is, my dad in my eyes.
Yeah.
I've known him for a very long time. So yeah, they got married. I think the marriage lasted for maybe like a year and a half or something. And they got divorced, but then my little brother came into the mix. And then years kind of passed in their separation until my mom lost her job. She was working at Wits like as a researcher, and I think it was a contractual job. And she had then lost her job, and after losing her job, then she had to move her entire life. I was in matric at the time, so I had literally, when she lost her job, it's now December, it's now, we're getting into January as a matriculant. And it's such a tricky time because you can't really look for a new school at that time, And I was in a private school, and at the private school they were like, no, we can't make any arrangements for your daughter if you can't pay for the school fees and whatnot. So, I was basically, we were on our own. So my mom and I then went to the education department to see if there was any arrangements that could be done, and my only option was either to go to college to finish my matric or to do grade 11 again so that I can then smoothly get into grade 12. So chose the grade 11 route. And by choosing the grade 11 route, obviously it means it's now 2 years, and then my mom moved to Rustenburg to be with my grandmother and stuff. And my brother and I were with my stepdad and his family. That was the dynamic.
In Rustenburg?
No, here in Pretoria. Well, we're in Joburg, but in Pretoria. So to finish my schooling, basically that was the agreement, that I'm going to stay with my stepdad and his family until I finish my matric. And then that's what happened. And then that's how basically the situation grew. After I had finished my matric, I think I finished my matric at 20, when I was 20 years old. And immediately after finishing my matric, I didn't even want to go back home. I think I was just so comfortable where I was.
With your stepfather's family?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Of course it makes sense because you already have a strained relationship with your mother
anyway. So I'm gonna go there and it's just gonna be weird and uncomfortable, and this feels like a family and a home to me, and my stepmom and I had a great relationship, but then my stepmom and my stepdad were going through a divorce. And then I'm, the eldest child. I'm being in the middle between, this ruckus of these two adults being, divorced. And then now, basically I feel like my childhood I didn't really have that childhood in terms of okay, now I'm gonna go and be with my friends or whatever. My siblings were my responsibility at that time. So that's when it started. After they were going through a divorce, then that's when my stepfather started making, slowly coercing me and slowly, what do they call it, grooming me?
Yes, that's the right word.
He started grooming me into having a sexual relationship. He'd ask me questions like if I'm dating, if I want to be in a marriage, do I see myself being married to anyone? And he would slowly introduce touch. It was just so weird, you guys.
No, I definitely do understand, and obviously I'm looking at it from the perspective that you are avoiding going home because that's a traumatic experience, and you are here, you believe that this is your family, and because it's family,
it feels safe.
And then another thing that we never take into consideration around family, which is what Bonjo taught us when she was speaking about the same coercion in Christianity, where it's like a family dynamic, and whoever is at the top, like a father and a mother, they are given a certain role where they have certain powers that they exert over the children. So power dynamic plays a role. And also, I don't know if you also believe it, but feeling indebted because this person took you in.
Absolutely. Definitely feeling indebted to the family and to my stepdad, because I mean, you know, he was there when I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
You know, he was there whenever my mom and I were having issues, and maybe like, you know, my mom was quite narcissistic, so
Exactly.
she would sometimes like kick me out of the house and then like, or lock up food, and she'd eat food with my brother. So when we had things like those kinds of dynamics, my stepfather would then step in.
Yeah.
You know, so he was like my hero.
Exactly. Yeah. So makes sense. I definitely know these type of dynamics.
Yeah. So that's when it happened, and then I decided, you know what, I don't know where else to go from here. When I decided now I don't want to do this anymore, it was like I also don't want to go home, but I also don't want to be here. And I had always dreamt about, like, you know what, I want to go and live in Cape Town, so I just packed my stuff without a plan. And I had a laptop at the time. I went and I sold my laptop, got a bus ticket, went to Cape Town and started job hunting from there. And basically running away from my problems. You know?
That is exactly what it was.
Running away from everything.
That's what we do, guys. I left Cape Town to come here, running away from my problems. And what I wanted to find out, before you left Pretoria, did the family know, or did you inform them?
No, I informed them on text.
Oh, okay.
As I was
as you were on the bus, you're passing.
So I'm like, I'm moving to Cape Town, you know. Because what my stepdad had done, like after learning that I'm leaving for Cape Town, was he then called my mom, obviously, right, just to let her know that, you know, she's no longer in my care, whatever, without obviously giving her a full
context of
story of like what's happening with this girl, you know. So then my mom was like, okay, I'm hearing you're going to Cape Town, what's happening? I'm like, yep,
I'm already on the bus.
I'm on my way, ma'am.
I wanted to find out, did you suffer from like Stockholm syndrome with your relationship with your dad? And
what is Stockholm syndrome? I don't know what it is.
It's you making excuses for him. Like,
Absolutely,
feeling like
I was feeling sorry for the fact that, because I really love my stepmom till this day. I think she's absolutely amazing. So, you know, I felt bad that they are getting a divorce. And I felt like, you know, that was the love of his life. You know, and it was like, that must have been so hard. And my stepmom and I look alike. We look really similar. So I was like, oh, maybe he feels like I'm reminding him of
that's exactly
the
what I meant.
stepmom, you know. And then also on top of that, maybe whatever remnants of the relationship that he had with my mom also, you know, he needs some sort of comfort. And it's also weird because even though it was that sexual relationship happening, I kept on wishing and hoping and praying that they would get back together, or that he'd get married to somebody else, or, you know, just so that I'm no longer the source of his, like the you know, providing his sexual needs anymore.
And how did you cope with that? Did you like black out?
Black completely, like just I would just zone out and become a completely different person.
Okay. You don't have to go any further. Because even for myself, like, I had to learn duality of human beings from my father. Because my dad was this abusive person to my mother, and we saw it every weekend. He was a drunkard. And then he was a great father to me. And I had to disconnect that person who I was witnessing as this evil person towards my mom and the rest of my family, to the father that's here being a great father for me. And
it's hard.
It is hard. It teaches you a lot about that. It teaches you a lot about life. Like, even like I faction my relationship, well, the one I had to learn circumstances from around that. Like, oh, he's a bad person, but he's also a good person. So
in this
two things can work. It was the same as my father. He was that. So I guess it's something that can happen to anybody. And then you get to Cape Town, you're there having a good time.
I get my dream salary. You know, like I'm prospering and everything, but there's not, like, I don't feel. My best friend would always say this. She would call me and she'd be like, "You're in Cape Town. You've wanted this since high school, you know." and she was so happy and so proud, but I was never able to actually feel the achievement or feel like I've
present
done.
moment.
Yes, like I never felt
yourself.
like I was doing good enough. You know, this was like 21, 22 maybe. And it's like, okay, you're 22, you're in corporate, you're living on your own, you're making at least 10K a month, you can survive, man, you're doing great, you know, but I never felt that for myself. So I think that was also part of just trauma that I had experienced with my mom, just never feeling good enough no matter what I did, you know. So it was that, and I think my breaking point was then because I wasn't communicating a lot with my stepmom before, and I was very close. We had a really good relationship. So when I don't know how she found out, whatever, when she found out that, you know, my stepdad and I, like, basically he coerced me and that, you know, we had a sexual relationship, she then asked me if, you know, this is what happened, and you know, and I think that's when I was just like, whew, like, you know, when you see bricks falling down, you're running away from this thing, but it's
they do say, what is it? Is it like a Zen parable? Everywhere you go, there you are.
There you are. Yep. You know, and I think that was my breaking point because I was in business with her. Like, we were doing Herbalife together, and I was signed under her. And so it was really difficult because, you know, opening up and then telling her and reliving those fears of like, oh my God, I'm such a bad person. Oh my God, like, you know. So that was when the depression really started, I think, hitting at that point, and I started realizing, it's bad because I would like overeat, you know, like that was my...
I was going to ask you, what was your coping
strategy? That was
like, mine was alcohol.
I would overeat, I would like spend my money so rapidly on useless things. So I'd buy McDonald's, and like when I would buy McDonald's, it was not buying McDonald's where it's like one meal.
You wanted what do they call those meal? What do they call those things where people buy a lot of food and they try to eat them all at the same time?
Hey, bro, guys, like I'd buy the family meal.
And you sit in your house and you eat all day.
And I'm sitting there and I'm eating the family meal. After cheeseburger, inyani, little fries, inyani, we move on to the other big burger, the nuggets, and while watching TV, you understand? And then it would get to a point where now I don't want to go to work anymore. And you know, everything, it's like a snowball effect. Now you're starting to notice people and your relationships at work are not great. You know, like now it's like this crazy snowball effect where now everything is wrong.
That's true.
So I think that's
and
then the pandemic.
I was going to ask, did the pandemic happen for you when you were in Cape Town, or had you already moved back up to Johannesburg?
It's 2019, so just literally after in Cape Town. It was in Cape Town, and then moving back home.
Okay. Oh, that's great. And I wanted to find out, now that you know better, do you feel like a lot of what you were experiencing and what you were avoiding was shame-based, like being shamed by the community, being shamed by your parents, being shamed by a stepmother for something that you really didn't conjure for yourself to happen to you?
It was shame-based, and not only just shame from that experience itself, but also shame from already being like different from the family, I think. You know, shame from, okay, you're already this child who doesn't know who their dad is. You know, you're born from a mom who's, you know, she had you at 17. So that constant, like, because my mom was constantly like, but, you know, are you sleeping with boys? Are you sleeping with boys? That paranoia, you know, that paranoia. So just be already shame of like, I'm already a bad child. You know? So then it's that on top of that. So like I felt like I couldn't even defend myself because it was a Muslim home, first of all.
Yeah.
And I dressed the way that I wanted to dress because I was home. So if I wanted to wear tight jeans, I was wearing tight jeans. If I wanted to wear shorts in the house, I was wearing shorts in the house. So I knew that that was also going to be used against me, that, oh, you know, it's because she wasn't dressed appropriately. That's why the stepdad was, you know, looking at her. Because after I had opened up, once I was home and my mom was trying to go to the UK with my little brother, and you know, it didn't work because the stepdad didn't want the son to be that far away and all of those dynamics. And I was like, well, in my innocence, I'm telling my mom so that she can get my brother away from this man. But that totally flipped on me.
I wasn't even gonna ask that, because in my brain I already knew how your mom was gonna react because of how your mom was. I'm not shocked.
That totally flipped on me as well.
I'm sure they were calling you all type of words.
Yeah, no, they made it a whole thing, like, okay, I was having a relationship with his dad.
So we don't have to go there.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so you start your healing journey. Obviously, we spoke about that prior to you giving us the context as to how you actually got into it. Yes. So right now you are a transformational coach. You help people who have had trauma and subsequent mental health to heal themselves. And in one of the ways you do it is through nutrition. So you're very busy on your social media giving us tips on what to eat and whatnot. And you did speak initially about the gut and how it's important for healing. Can you give us that connection and how you got into nutrition for healing?
Yeah, that's where I started with my healing. When I decided that, look, I want to be a completely different
You were like,
person.
I want to get out of the McDonald's.
I want to get out of this family meal.
Yes.
Situation. I can't be eating like this no more. That's where you start to take back control of your life. And you start to take ownership and responsibility of your life, is by being mindful of just the simple things, what you eat. And when I started being more mindful of what I eat and how I eat, that's what changed just my thinking process, you know. I didn't have like the language to kind of explain the differences that it makes until obviously I read that book that I was recommending to you, The Body Keeps the Score. But it makes a tremendous change to how you think, how you relate to life, how you relate to difficult even situations. When you learn to discipline yourself, you are able to learn that I can actually make it through difficult situations. I can cope, I can survive, I can overcome it, I can become better, you know. And you know that you then realize you don't become a victim, because you realize that difficult situations, every situation also, is there to teach you and to help you to develop into a better person.
That's true.
So with the gut, like a lot of people say, the gut is the second brain. It's the second brain, I think, because that's where your emotions lie. So the gut is very close to your sexual organs, and with your sexual organs, like and your womb and stuff like that. That's where we carry a lot of our trauma, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of fear, you know. But it's also where we allow ourselves to experience pleasure. It's also where we allow ourselves to also relate to other people and to express our emotions. And our creativity. That's also where our creativity lies. So when you heal the gut,
which can only be done, one of the ways in which you can do it is via nutrition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. High fiber. So for me, I teach a high fiber, whole foods, high protein diet, basically. Like, that's the base of everything. I don't necessarily tell people you have to eat only quinoa or but like make sure that it's good quality protein, it's good quality fiber, that you're putting into your body.
Yes,
It's whole foods, and also adopting an 80-20% rule.
Me too. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm a fake vegetarian because of that. Like, I'm a vegetarian like 80% of the time.
Yes.
And then if I need to for traditional ceremonies or like special occasions, then I will. And I don't feel guilty about it.
You don't.
Exactly.
Because of the 80-20.
Yeah. And another thing I always say to people is like, I don't know where I picked this up, but again, first thing, when I'm going through trouble where I feel like there's going to be like mental strain in my life, or maybe it's like a bottleneck time at a job where you have to like go. The first thing I do is fast, because I feel like my brain works so much better when there's no food coming into my body.
Yes.
And then I stay away from like recreational drugs, like I'll not do the alcohol during that time, because I feel like it helps. And
absolutely, I fully agree. You get a lot of mental clarity. You're a lot calmer. Because the thing is that,
and it takes your brain away from trying to control an external situation that you can't control to controlling something that you actually can control,
which is yourself.
And then again, you can also substantiate the meals that you eat with multivitamins.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, girl. And you're gonna give us now a demo of how we can make like nutritious meals for ourselves, and also pop the pills after.
Pop the pillies.
Pop the pills. Don't pop the other ones. Pop these ones. They do the same thing. Like,
people also don't even know that. Because I'll get people be like, no, I don't need vitamins, I eat healthy food. Okay.
You do.
So, people also don't know that the thing is that the quality of our soil and our water is not the same as it used to be. There's a lot of chemicals that are being put in the soil and in the water that strips the food of its actual nutrients. So there's not a lot of food that you get, and you need magnesium in order to focus and all of those kinds of things. So there are like foods are stripped of magnesium, of your fiber, iron, your protein, they're stripped of all of those nutrients. So you need
and omega oils, guys. Like literally, you guys need to start popping omega 369 oils. Those pills are good if you
for
can't
the brain.
Exactly. So do that. And so we talked about the pills, we talked about the food. We'll give you guys a little demo right now. And when we're doing the demo, I want to like touch on the mother wound, because I love talking about the mother wound, because I feel like I wasted too much of my time focusing on the father wound and daddy issues. But ultimately, I had to heal the maternal lineage for me to be this person, because that is exactly what I was lacking in my life.
Welcome back. So Kia is going to be teaching us how to eat nutritiously. So you eating food that's good for your gut. So we're going to be making. I'm not the domesticated type, guys, but I try my best. We're going to be making, what's the first meal we're going to be making? So we're going to make a meat-based one as well as a vegetarian one, because everybody and their mama knows I'm fake vegetarian.
And also, which is great, because anybody who is watching the show, maybe you're like, a veggie eater. So that's great. We're basically doing a bowl, like just a wholesome bowl. Very simple ingredients that you can just throw together. Very easy, quick, fast to make in a hurry.
Okay.
Healthy, high in fiber, high in protein. So, yeah.
Okay, let's get into the first one. What is it called? Does it have a name?
I mean, chicken bowl.
Okay, it's a chicken bowl then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here in the background. You let me know what you need from me.
Okay, so I just want to let our viewers know what we're putting in the bowl.
Okay.
So we're having some kale,
as you guys can see.
We're having some kale, and then we're having some carrots that have been finely diced and chopped by
me. We didn't buy it, Willis, at all.
No, absolutely not. These chickpeas that have been on the stove for hours and hours and hours.
Oh my God. Slavery is our choice.
And then we're having some couscous as well. Okay. So couscous has just got a little bit of herbs in there. You just take the couscous packet, put some boiling water, cover it for a few minutes. You're good to go.
We're not a cooking show.
Got half a cucumber here, an avocado, some tomatoes, and then we've got some chicken. So let's say maybe you made chicken.
We made it ourselves.
Leftover from your Sunday meal, and it's during the week you're trying to meal prep for the week ahead. This is something nice and easy to put together. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start off by chopping.
And another topic we wanted to just quickly talk about was obviously the mother wound. Like I said, I believe like us, especially as females, it should be the first thing that we actually get taught and we learn about, because I feel like all the time what everybody and mainstream media always tells us is nui, daddy issues, nui, daddy issues, nui. But it's always at the end of the day, nui, mommy issues and your relation to the maternal in your life.
Because who are you with most of the time growing up?
The female. Who do you want to be when you grow up? The female. Yes. So what did you discover about the mother wound when you were learning about it?
Okay. So for that having a strained relationship with your mom is not normal.
Yeah.
And that it's a generational
curse.
Yeah, it's a generational thing. And that also it comes from, like, the mother wound is also created from the stereotypes and also the pressure that women face
from society. Like what type of pressure?
I think the pressure to be perfect.
Oh, good.
You know, like you're not allowed, I think, any F-ups, like, as a mom.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, in as much as people do talk about daddy issues, the people that we mostly blame for anything that goes wrong in our life is sometimes it's the mom.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I learned.
Child, right?
Didn't your mom teach you?
Exactly.
Actually,
now that you talk about it, really, when things are going wrong, it's always the mom that's blamed.
Yeah. Didn't your mom teach you, Uguti, you don't do this and whatever and whatever? That's what I learned about the mother wound. So, yeah.
I saw mine with the relationships that I got in, like the romantic relationships. And I was like, no, man, I'm mirroring that lady. So I need to figure out a way out. And it was me just acknowledging that and then starting to see it in myself and then working at it. Because a lot of how we live our lives is that we're usually in a dark space and then we come into a realization, and then afterwards, then we get the enlightenment about certain aspects of ourselves, and that's how we actually heal and move through the dark phases.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said that you are like you saw that you are mirroring your mother, because that's exactly like what it is. You're mirroring you mirroring those behaviors because subconsciously that's what you've learned.
Exactly.
You know, about being a woman, about how other women treat you, because you'd always hear, like, I feel like from my mom I'd always hear, like, yo, you know, don't usabe abafazi, you know, abafazi, they're dangerous.
Exactly.
You know, so then there's that fear of, like, oh, so I can't actually have genuine, authentic relationships with women.
Okay, this is the final presentation.
Ta-da!
Thank you, girl. And then we're going to do the same thing, but do a veggie one.
Do a veggie one.
Okay, I think we will just fast track our way through that.
Okay. So the kale, please, Mama Sita. Do you want to do? I think you should do this one.
Okay, then you tell me what to do.
Okay, so you're gonna layer the base.
Kale.
You know, they say umfazi doesn't eat from the pot.
What?
Otherwise, you're not gonna get. Oh, it's gonna rain when you get married or something.
Wasn't that blessings? Okay, let's show our plates.
Cheers, honeys.
Okay, then another thing we will get into is movement for mental health agility. You are a yoga instructor.
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you make the connection that you needed to move in order for you to release stuff from your body?
Well, like you mentioned previously, I am a water sign.
Okay, girl. I'm not a Scorpio water sign. Nothing against the Scorpios though, because I'm a Scorpio rising.
So yeah, and as a water sign, for me, I've seen that like when I move my body, I'm so much more clear-headed.
Yeah.
I am so much more positive also.
Yeah.
Because I've also done something that's hard. Like especially during winter right now, it's hard to get out of your bed.
Exactly.
And think about going to exercise. Like you wanna wake up and grab a cup of coffee so quickly.
Exactly.
Ne?
Heavy on the green.
Yes, because you want to keep yourself warm. So the fact that you get out of bed and you tell yourself, look, I just want to, even if it's just a stretch, if it's just stretching your body for like 10-20 minutes, your body really thanks you for it because you have a lot of mental clarity. I'm big on mental clarity.
Yeah.
You're way more focused and you're also way more organized in like your day and how you manage your tasks.
Exactly.
That's what movement has done for me, so I always knew every time I was going through something difficult or whatever, and I didn't move my body, I would be like, okay, you need to just go and do something. And what got me into yoga, so I've always had an attraction to yoga. I don't know how to even explain it. I always looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so cool. I want to do it one day. I want to do it one day. I want to do it one day. And then my friend, the same friend who her name is Sneh, the Lavish Alchemist. She, the same person that introduced me into spirituality. I think she just saw it in me. And she was like, oh, don't you want to try this? What I'm going to be demonstrating today, Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. She was like, don't you want to try this? And I tried it and instantly it was like, it felt like I had been doing it for a long time. I just felt at home. I felt at home doing yoga because unlike going to the gym and like putting all of that strain on your body and whatever, I think yoga just like brings you back to yourself.
Exactly.
It's your own race, your own pace, and you're feeling in love. Like you love your body,
That's good. I haven't done no yoga. So guys, please don't judge me during the demo because I'm weak. I'm already telling you in advance.
She's not weak.
But I would have tried my best. So we'll do the demo real quick and then we'll show you guys. What is it called?
Surya Namaskar.
Surya Namaskar. Okay, we'll show you guys in a bit. And another technique that you do speak about, which is what I wanted to touch on, is the breathing technique, like breath work. What do you do? 8 counts.
Yeah, so there's the box method also.
Yeah.
Where you take a deep breath in for 4 counts.
Yeah.
You hold it for 4 counts.
Yeah.
You breathe out for 4 counts. Then you just 4 counts, and then again you start again with the box method, and you do that breath. And then also deep breaths in, holding it, deep breath, and releasing. And then there's also the fire breath work.
I've done everything in the healing space. I was like, the next thing that's left for me to do is go be a nun or a monk somewhere and just literally sit like this and wait for my enlightenment like Buddha, because hello. And I was very intentional about...
But that's actually also the journey.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what we're here for. Sorry to cut you off, but
no, it's
that's actually, like, I think that's what we're here for. We're here to just, like, heal and grow and thrive.
I believe that too. My thing in life is I don't want to get the same lessons twice. Not in this lifetime. Once is more than enough. and then move on to the next one. And that's how I've been moving through life. And I mean, like, even now, I felt like I've deaded or killed. Like, I've killed certain elements of myself to be able to allow this person to exist. And that means I have to dead certain circumstances and people from being in my life. Because you can't continue with life if you don't allow yourself to move away from things permanently. I saw before we started recording this, someone is like, something about the warmth from the bridges that they burned. And I was like, I do feel like that about my life. And I've never felt the need to go back, especially because I know there's like 8.8 billion people in the world. Hello, life is supposed to be
more
moved
to
forward.
life. Yeah, there's more
Exactly.
to life.
Yeah. And then affirmations is also one of the things that you use.
Yes.
I love myself.
Because, like, who else is gonna affirm you?
Yeah.
Who else is gonna affirm you,
Yeah.
honestly, if
So-
you don't affirm yourself?
Exactly.
So absolutely.
What's your
affirmation.
favorite affirmation?
I don't have a favorite. That's such a difficult question. Oh my
I'm the
god.
shit. I'm the shit. What's the Kanye's one? I'm the shit and the urine together combined.
Yo, hey, yo. There's so many affirmations, but I think I'm a divine being, and I'm divinely protected. I'm divinely blessed, because I think we forget that. We come from the divine. So obviously
We are divine.
we are divine.
People will always say we made in His image, but never want to be the image. Like, what do you mean, girl? So, where did
Excuse
that come
me.
from?
Get out of here.
Exactly. And then, last but not least, the coloring books for calm, for relaxation, and for
To
all of
boost
those
your
type of things.
creativity.
Yeah.
Just like everything, boost your creativity, to also heal your inner child. So I've also been doing like some inner child work with
Yeah.
my clients that go on the holistic healing program. Like, it usually lasts like maybe 3
Are
to
these
9
ones
months.
that are done by you?
Yeah.
Oh wow, guys, look at how beautiful this is.
Yeah.
Insane. Wow. Okay.
And I once took that to work, like, incorporate that to be kind.
yeah.
Actually, we finished together in the
Oh, that is so
corporate space
beautiful.
with
Oh wow,
some
girl.
of my
I'm happy
colleagues.
you're taking your healing everywhere you go, because
No,
it really is
because
important.
I can't be surrounded by unhealed people. Excuse me. Get yourself together.
Yeah.
Get your life. Fit your life.
Oh wow. Okay, thank you so much. So now we're gonna do the yoga demonstration. What is it called again?
Surya Namaskar.
Surya Namaskar.
We're back. We're gonna do a yoga demonstration, Queen. Tell us what it is again.
So it's Surya Namaskar, sun salutation.
Okay, we've got the sun right here facing us.
Yes.
So it is your territory. You're gonna tell me what to do, because I'm weak. I don't even know. Am I fine? Is this position good?
Okay, so we need to start off just like in the front of your mat, giving yourself a little bit more space, making sure that your feet are like shoulder width apart.
Okay.
Okay, and then you're gonna put your hands to the side.
Yep.
Do you want us to like do a warm up first?
Girl, you're the queen of yoga. I don't know what I'm doing.
Cause
I'm just happy
yeah,
to be here.
cause I'm like I can get straight into it, but then let me
Like
also
do like a quick warm up, like
Quick
not
warm-up.
warm up, but just like a demonstration of what a warm up would be.
All right, cool. So let's start off with just twisting our. What are these wrists? Oh
Yes.
my god! What's
English is not our mother,
happening?
guys. Really, like English is not our mother.
Yeah, making sure that you breathe in and breathe out, and then we're gonna alternate other side, bringing it inwards. Yes.
Takashi, come on, I'm doing the best that I can.
Okay, and now we're gonna do the same thing with our ankles. So you're just gonna hold your hips, and then you're gonna twist your ankles out for like maybe let's say 10 counts.
Okay.
And then back inwards, 10 counts.
Girl, leave me alone.
She's on an island. She's in Fiji.
I'm sure I already escaped right now. Actually, that's what I learned about my brain when I went to that silent meditation, is that
Yeah.
I escape every time. Like my brain just goes into a vacation.
Oh my word. Okay, now we're gonna do body twists. There we go. Making sure you breathe in and out here. And Oluchi's place is actually also this studio is amazing because we're literally by the poolside.
Thank you.
Like I feel like I'm on an island already. All right, cool. We're good. So now make sure that your feet are again shoulder width apart, your hands to the sides, and then we're gonna lift it. We're gonna lift our hands up. You're gonna look up into the sky. Breathe in here, and then we're gonna tilt our pelvic area forward, and we're gonna take our arms as far as you can backwards.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then we're gonna come back down. We're gonna go into a forward fold. Make sure that your back is straight so that you don't strain it.
Okay.
Imagine you're kind of like reaching forward with your arms, you know, as you're going down. And then hands on the sides of your feet. Take a deep breath in, and we're gonna take our left leg and we're gonna go into a deep lunge. Okay. Left leg back, and then we're gonna take a deep lunge. There we go. Perfect. We're gonna hold here for a few seconds, and then we're gonna take our right leg back. So breathing in, tilting our pelvis forward, and we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna rotate our hands, and we're gonna salute the sun.
Salute to the sun.
Salute Sunny.
Oh, that was good.
Salute Sunny. So that's the practice, basically.
Okay, do you mind just doing it by yourself without giving us the education?
Okay.
So we can have like the proper way of doing it.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to be there because I already told you I was weak.
But you did great. You did great, guys. Yes, the butterfly. I want even the butterfly is congratulating you.
Thanks. So you can talk us through it or whatever makes you feel comfortable, because I do want to have like a synergic one where you can just watch it.
Okay, maybe I should come on your mat. I don't know if like then they can see me on the side.
Yeah.
Okay, so always start in the front of your mat. Hands on the sides, your feet shoulder width apart, and then you're just going to start by lifting your arms, taking a deep breath in as you lift your arms. You're going to tilt your pelvis forward as you tilt back. Go as far as your body allows you, and then you're going to go forward. Okay, make sure that your back is straight here. Imagine you're kind of reaching with your arms forward and breathing in and out. You're going to bring your hands to the sides of your feet. Take your leg back into a lunge. Deep breath in here. And back with your right leg into a plank. You can hold here for a few seconds just to strengthen your core.
Yeah.
And then you're going to bring your knees down and your chest down, poking that peach.
And down through and
and you're going to lift your upper body into a cobra pose. And then into a child's pose. Deep breath in and out. And then opposite leg. So we started, it was the left leg that we put out, right?
yeah.
So you're going to take your right leg, opposite leg, bring it forward. Hold for a few seconds. Then take your left leg, bring it forward. Deep breath in and bring it back up.
Lean with it. Rock with it.
Rock with it.
Lean with it. Rock with it.
And salute.
Oh, yay. See, this is why we get the experts on the show. The experts.
We did
Thank you so much.
it.
Yes, thank you so much. And so how often do you have to do this? Or is it like a repetitive thing that, like right now, you can do this like maybe 5 to 10 times at a time?
Yeah, so just to start, if you're somebody who's starting off and you've never done yoga before, just do 5 rounds of it.
Okay.
Right? But the complete set is like 9.
Okay.
Doing 9 rounds.
I would advise, I always say to people, do the hard things first because it makes things easier for you. Like, always gun for 9.
Yeah.
And if 9 doesn't work, then at least you're like failing towards the stars instead of like reaching for the clouds instead of reaching for the stars.
Yeah. So you can do the 9 because then as a complete set, it's then 108. It counts as 108 because it's 12 different moves and then you're doing it 9 times.
Oh, that's good.
And then if you're like trying to lose maybe belly fat or just weight or whatever, then it's something that you can just do at a faster pace.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Once you've learned the movements and you've worked into it, you can do it faster for like fat loss.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed the demo. This was good. By the way, do you have any final words to say to the masses about mental health and trauma and healing?
My final word would be always take care of yourself because nobody else is going to do it for you.
That is true.
So if you're somebody who's, you've any of what we've said today, you identify with it and you're trying to like go on a better path, I would say start with like the small things, like your routine, look at your routine. What
does your everyday look like?
Oh, Lord.
Exactly.
I set myself up there.
And then, where can we find you and what are your socials?
Okay, so my handles are at Holistic Wellness Healer. Did I just almost forget my tags? I did. Yeah. At Holistic Wellness Healer. That's on TikTok and that is on Instagram and also on YouTube. You can also WhatsApp me if you are looking to start yoga or if you're trying to also get into the holistic healing program and you need like coaching and assistance, or if you want to buy any of my products, then you can WhatsApp me on 079-762-1618.
Thank you so much, Queen. And with that said, we have no further information to give to the masses. Hey, you're showing the wrong side.
Yeah, sorry, get excitement.
Thank you so much. Do comment, do subscribe, do tell your friends, and do follow this lady over here.
And share this video. And
share. Please share. Buy her incredible products. They're good and they're good for you as well. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. That's it, honey. It's time for food.
It's the mushrooms, darling.
I told you guys the veggie option was the best option. So the food does taste good, whether it's healthy or not.
It's a chicken salad.
T, what do you think?
That's good.
You like it?
I'm tasting so many new things I haven't tasted in my life.
Hey guys, this is good. We like this.
Get into it.
Get into it. And do follow Kia for more of these recipes, guys. She's good. She's good.
I know. This tastes good.
I know, honey.